Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland of Hitler, by one on Twin Beaches. In the south, it is Herodad fighting here for the British Empire, the Commonwealth, the 5th Infantry Division. In the north, it is the German Army under the command of me, here with the 26th Panzerdivision with an infantry company start, and right into breakthrough. Going for a double pioneer start, as, having looked at that video for Tarnation, also had some thoughts about, Kettenkrad is not quite feeling as great, so I'm committing to more double pioneer starts myself as well. So, infantry section here for Herodad. Are you the real deal? Yes. No, people ask me, someone's pretending to me, it's probably not going to, well, I'm actually just pretending to be Dane. I was like, yeah. Anyways. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons supporters, and big thanks to Mir for pledging on Patreon, becoming one of those many wonderful patron supporters. Big thanks to you, Mir. So, off we are here though, Grenadiers following up here on the double pioneers, heading north and east here, sort of pretty much in the directions I can really go westwards really, not much north beyond the north edge of the base there when you think about it. So, and we're going for some early assault grenadiers here, or MP40 grenadiers. Sandbags up here from the grenadier. One of the few advantages they do have is, of course, their ability to lay down sandbags, barbed wire, and the fighting nest. Yeah, I don't think I've yet to see anyone actually using that one. Northern Point is the Pioneer. Second grenadier squad on the way there. So far, fairly standard stuff. British troops heading eastwards and westwards. And the center for the Grenadiers, again, more sandbags here. Providing cover where there otherwise is not really a lot of heavy cover. And in this case, I'm also trying to make use of any sort of local light cover to that way make it hard for the opponent to make use of it. Of course, I can also just lay down barbed wire with the Grenadiers. Southeast, the Pioneer advancing on the southern munitions point. British forces heading for northern field point. About to see some engagement here around the 2-minute mark as Grenadiers push forward there for the German army. There you go. Shots fired. Section spotted. Grenadiers going to go up here. Try and perhaps flank around. Or not. Pioneers heading further northwards here. British forces there being dispatched here from the eastern western munitions point to assist here as I'm going in another section. Trying to get the upper hand as quickly as possible as the British player. And the infantry section. Third section there out for Herodad. Quickly going to lay down some sandbags. 2 Grenadier escorts. How to work on that. There we go. In the south here, we've got the section occupying the lighthouse here and firing down the pioneers there. Pretty cheeky positioning. More troops lining up for push. They want to, of course, eject the Germans here from the hill and the field point on the hill. Following up the field point, but I forgot to add the assault grenadier upgrade, MP40 upgrade there, and of course actually start upgrading my men. Bit of an oversight there by me. Bit of an oversight, to put it gently. MD42 moving in here from the north. Trying to move on my grenadiers. I'm trying to get onto the flank here of the sappers, but also get into just better cover there. Pioneers busy up north. Going here for the infantry officer quarters here. Again, been trying that a bit after having noticed again Tarnation doing it. Nothing wrong getting inspired by other players, and you're going, maybe they're onto something there. Since in this case, of course, if I do remember to go for the Assault Grenadiers upgrade and start upgrading them, the Veterans 1 bonus does work well with that. Of course, the MD42 and Pioneers will then get the fast capture ability from Veterans 1, so there's certainly some logic to that. There's Sappers pushing forwards here while they're already taking a lot of damage. I'm not entirely sure what caused them to push in there. Also got the grenades all of a sudden. And that gets unlocked that way as well. Which is interesting to note, I don't know. All the way there, quick grenade off. Seems something up there, was that just a part of it? I don't know. But yeah, going for a third grenadier squad here. Still not really going for any of these abilities. I'm way too caught up in the fighting here around the hill. Need to be careful, don't get stuck in too hard here. And there you go. A machine gun there gets suppressed because while he set into heavy cover, I thought I'd set my machine gun into heavy cover. Turns out I hadn't. So that was a bit of a slip up there, and ultimately caused me to lose the entire northern engagement. Then, of course, and my lack of the MP40s. So, yeah, that was, there we go. I finally get around to it, but obviously, bit of a slip. Meanwhile, got the Panzer Grenadier Company going up here. Pioneers shooting here. I'm probably one of the few players at the moment that's able to go through it because, well, compared to just going for Jaegers with Panzerschrecks, it does obviously have its limitations. But, I stick to what I like to use, even if it does at times cause me a lot of grief. So, Of course, also allows me to quickly heal my Grenadier with the med kits. It's a free ability, but it has like a 2-minute cooldown, so that's worth keeping in mind there. Quickly off the northern missions there. Smart play also in the southeast. Moving in to grab the fuel point here. Messing with my economy further. Thumbs up there. Shot play. Of course, we've got the assault gunners moving in. And with the veterans who are bonus, they do become a bit harder to kill, so that does benefit them. Pioneers, of course, with their fast capture ability, grab the munitions point just a wee bit faster too. Because they're moving about, got flamethrower sappers out here with the number 2 flamethrower, also known as the life buoy, because the shape of the flamethrower tank on the back of it. Some of those this all going to do here. Do you have any upgrades here going on? We have the platoon command post with the Humber on the way there. Soldiers up as the flamethrowers, they're rushing in. We have flamethrower plus sappers. Really bad combat aim for the assault grenadiers, and they are quickly routed here. MD42 caught with the Vickers here. Overall, pretty bad engage for here. Getting control of this particular area can be actually quite important for this map. Got the Humber out as well here. Obviously, what we call a bit of a problem. Pantherfast off here, which does buy me some time here. Hopefully keeps it a bit more in check, but you can see the Herodad is rapidly making great gains here versus the German army. 5th Infantry moving forwards against the 26th Panzer Division. North here, got the assault gunners moving in here. Straight at the sections, quickly dropping Terrans there. South here, Pioneers retreating, still got the other Pioneer squad base in the south. Again, fast capture, and very handy little bit there. And again, like, if you go for, like, heavy enough tier 1, you know, it can be worth it. Obviously, does delay my Stug. Had I not gone for this, I could have the Stug up by now. But again, that's sort of like, you know, sort of trade-off you may have to consider in your mind if it's worth it or not. And maybe you don't want to, like, go for it like that. If you're going to go for, like, rush out Stug, you may want to delay it. But, you know, I still think it's something worth considering at some point. Unless you're going for a lot of Falchion Pioneers, in which case, obviously, you skip it because they're not going to benefit from it all. Meanwhile, British force moving about here. He could lay down some mines here. In fact, it does so. Thumbs up there. To Herodad. Rushing the armored car westwards. Vickers setting up here. Reconnecting up north. Congolese machinery up here. Closing in on that Stug as soon as possible. Again, this swing in the south to get the fuel point there going. Definitely helps out in getting out that. Which pulls the Grenadier here and the threat of the Panzerfaust. Got more sappers out here for Herodad and the 5th Infantry. Growing back the southern fuel point here from the Germans. And then got that Stug 3G on the way for the 26th Panzer Division. As the war went on, actually after the losses in North Africa and Stalingrad, each Panzer Division lost a Panzer Battalion. But they typically sort of, in a sort of off the paper, but sort of not really sort of organization, received the Stug Battalion instead. But there you go, white MD42 there. They're about to lose my own MD42 to him. So that gets a bit awkward here. That gets very awkward. Trying to push back the section, but I actually should have just gone straight for the MD42 and recruited. Bad call there by me. And so we end up inevitably just trading machine guns here. At which point, of course, the big question is who won. I don't know. But there you go. Sturmgeschütz 3 als 5G ready. Bit short munitions there. Can of course also start calling in the mechanized assault group in the near future if I want to. Veterans 1 in the Humber armored car. One of many armored cars operated by the British Empire throughout the war. And this version of the autocannon would later be upgraded with a 37mm gun. Little fun fact there. But there goes Stug moving forwards, adding the Pinamount Mission Gewehr. Decent shot there. Got lots of troops back here reinforcing. British forces are there falling back, and the south looks like he's kind of forgot about the sappers there. Should definitely get them back for reinforcements. We do have the training center up there, so yeah, I expect him to like upgrade his troops, as it does provide, you know, a lot of bonuses to his men. It is a very handy upgrade. It can provide, not as flashy perhaps, but you know, quite handy. Rushing the Stug westwards here. So yeah, Stugs really in that sense, you know, used to sort of bulk up Panzer divisions, even as like, you know, tanks were running out. And as the war went further on, it was not uncommon, like, you know, to see some Panzer battalions with just a mix of Stugs and Panzer IVs. Another fun fact there. Bit of quantity otherwise. Got the assault gunners ready, Pioneers busy up north and in the west. Again, fast capture is pretty handy. Anti-tank rifles to the side of the Stug with their anti-tank rifles. Got the Humber moving forwards once more. sappers at the ready there. I actually do have a battle group from him. We do have Indian artillery. They have a classic because, you know, being able to reinforce your troops a lot cheaper is very good. And of course it has some very good artillery abilities, obviously, but a large part of it is just like, you know, 25% reinforcement reduction is very good. Going for the second stroke here. Section flanking up but lacking anti-tank rifles. There won't be much of 30 in the south. Grenadiers pushing back here. Have veterancy too. Forgot to upgrade them. But again, as you might notice, they also veterancy up faster thanks to that officer quarters upgrade. So, you know, if you are committing somewhat heavily to, like, you know, tier 1 and, you know, the headquarters stuff there, it can be a worthwhile upgrade to get at some point. But that said, you don't want to, like, delay your anti-tank assets either too much, or you're going to have a bad time. In particular versus the Americans. So there you go, anti-tank is there. Pilfered MG42, they're being hauled forwards. Got the Stug out there, second one. And of course, adding the Pillar machine gewehr.
Commandant, we're ready.
Pioneers routed here, moving forward to machine guns, anti-tank rifles, and other fun stuff. Stug fun with machine guns, which does a fair amount of damage, though. Obviously, I do also there go want to add the Panzergrenadier officer quarters, because A unlocks the very good point blank blast upgrade, and of course provides some more accuracy and stuff. Then in the south, hit them on with the Stug. Section actually named Assault Grenadiers. Not entirely sure what possessed Herodad to send his men to their death, but very much to the death he did send them. 6 Panagani also providing excellent fast support here. Grabbing the northern hill, fixing the Stug here in the south. Also got the machine gun here, since again, control these buildings can be quite good on this map. Also, currently, breach is a bit back, so it's a bit hard to clear them out with breach otherwise. Unfortunately. Hopefully they can fix breach rapidly. But there you go, got the mechanized assault group there ready. Yeah, Monster sure did what, like, just go by memory there from Company 2 on that one. Stug charging in the shoots, misses at pretty short distance. That's a bit embarrassing. Otto! You missed! Ah, sorry. There you go, Hamburg kaput. Stug closing in Metty 2 already. Sabsing some man lost from the Stug. Its machine guns are, like, pretty good, though. Pretty good. And in particular with the Veterans 1 bonus, the Stug's machine guns gets quite nasty. Tried to grab the anti-tank gun. Didn't work out, though. On the other hand, did wipe the info too. There's Herodad was a bit too preoccupied in the south. They've got a bit of deeper flank. No Gurkhas, though. They are quite good, in particular with the light machine gun. They are, in fact, incredibly good with the light machine gun. So, bit of worth of note there. It's, you know, the battle group is good for more than just, you know, artillery and, you know, the reinforced cost reduction. The Gurkhas are quite good too, in particular with the LMG. So, you know, do consider investing into that as well there. But gonna grab the MG42 with my Pioneer. Meaning I now have 2 machine guns. Also worth noting, while it doesn't apply to captured machine guns from the enemy, but if you crew one of your own machine guns, you uniquely get Veterans 1 thanks to that infantry officer quarters upgrade. So, you know, there's a strange number of, like, benefits to this one here. Like, it's probably in some regards a sort of interesting, impactful upgrade. But again, the timing of it, you know, depending on, so, like, you know, what you're up against, and, like, you know, how much you're actually investing into it. But, like, if you just invest it decently, you know, pretty good. Pretty good. Like, I feel like a lot of Valorant players are just in general sleeping on these officer quarters upgrades. Like, they really add some value. But there you go, section being party by Stug fire. Again, those machine guns are not to be taken lightly. In fact, as the war went on, they would actually add more machine guns to the Stugs. Apparently only for a short period of time, but they would actually add coaxial machine guns to the Stugs. Meaning they actually had 2 machine guns for a very brief period in time. Little fun fact, in the south, they're going to making use of the excellent breakthrough ability, by the way. Really overlooked ability as well. I think in the breakthrough battle group, but, you know, just allows you to, like, nearly rapid, instantly just grab a point like that. It is very good. But there goes South Swing, pushing out the machine. Actually destroys it. Bit of an issue right now with machine guns and buildings. For some reason, they take a lot of damage, the machine guns. Like, you know, you just get these situations where the machine gun crews, like, suddenly, like, running away because, you know, the machine gun just fell apart in their hands. In this case, obviously British, you know, engineering, yeah. But, you know, it happens to, like, any machine gun. It's not like just British machine guns or German machine guns. Like, all the machine guns just, for some reason, suffer incredible amounts of damage inside of buildings. I don't know why. So I can call in the mechanized assault group here. I could also take up. But I first go for the mechanized assault group because I like half-tracks and I like Starstruppen. Besides liking Stugs. Herodad, they're definitely struggling a bit more. I mean, tactically, I think it also just part the way the map kind of works. Like, if your opponent sort of gets you locked down in this map, it can be difficult to break up because it does have a slight tendency towards choke point. Particularly the southern player can find themselves very easily hemmed in at times. So... But that said, I think the smart move for him to be would be like, you know, actually give up in the north, instead try to push for the south here. You know, so when you go up here, maybe make use of the lighthouse, form up a base of fire here, and then push for the southern resources. I think that would probably help him more than trying to push northwards, which is easily much more restrictive than the south and southern guards. So again, that means I can then control the buildings against team. So, you know, it's a bit of a tricky map then. I'm personally not a big fan of it the more I play on it. But anyways, push forward to the Sultans and the Starstorm backing up here. Quickly advancing there for the fatherland, backed up, of course, by the Mittlerer Schützenpanzerwagen. Even got a kill there. We got tank and section as the Starstorm Grenadiers here. Quick riot grenade here. He's falling back towards the 251 here. Starstorm holding the line here. Of course, thanks to the half-track nearby, they can reinforce on the spot. They'll pull back the half-track a bit. They also got the Crusader tank out, so my opponent has managed to take up here. Very good. Stugs holding back. Obviously, they concern the anti-tank gun and all these anti-tank sections. Dazzling a bit concerned. Opponent dispatching forces southwards. But again, he's leaving most of his effort here towards the north side. Again, he wants that hill. And he's willing to, you know, die on that hill, if you will. Then he's about to get wiped out here. Crusader gets away. Got the Mark III up there. Stugs pushing forwards into the 6-pounder gun. Got Blitzkrieg there ready. Got the Starstorm here. Even merge the Grenadiers with them just to get it done quickly, but also at a lower cost. Yeah. One of those handy, neat utilities there of the Squad Merge ability. Also great for, say, you crew up a weapon, you can immediately get it, up to full strength as well that way on the front line. So, there's definitely a lot of utility to it that way. Even though the Grenadiers at times definitely feel like they have a significant drop in power at the moment. Unless you get the MP40 upgrade, honestly. And the Infantry Officer Quarters upgrades. You really need to, pour a lot of resources into them. For them to, be just remotely decent at times. But again, there's definitely some utility to be had. You're holding up here for now. And partly because I'm trying to figure out, what is the overall direction my opponent is taking here. If I commit too hard up north, for example, I could be in trouble. Plus, a bit tricky terrain to attack through there. So... Plus, if he does make a sneaky attack for the south, they want to be ready as well. But he's only deploying, minor forces here. And again, he's leading most of the attempts to, push on the hill. Meanwhile, I am pushing up for the Panzer Company, adding the side skirts, because you do want that. And upgrade the 2 to the Stummel. Not because it's good, honestly, but, I'm trying to get the hang of it in the hopes that, they eventually... do buff it, at which point, having a bit of better idea how to operate it doesn't hurt. But having said that, this Stummel is a worse Stug D, not just because there's less armored, obviously, but because the gun is significantly less powerful. I can do some damage, but as you might notice, there's not a great Starstorm mobs wiped out here. Forced retreat. In fact, that's the only gun who survives. Stummel disengages, Stug falling back here. Could try and launch a counterattack here for the south, but too busy trying to manage stuff here, and I don't actually have enough infantry to support the southern push here. That looks like I'm going to make the attempt. I know he's got the same Crusade out here for Herodad. He needs to put more from the south. Could easily make much better progress than up in the north here, where again, it's much more easy to, constrict his movements. South here, Crusader going for the gunners in the south here. Charging in with its 2-pounder gun. Good rate of fire. Less great penetration on damage versus tanks, but, pretty nasty versus infantry. You may also want to consider, of course, some foot guards, but so far here, not a big fan of that man to get the half-tech and the Stug out of there. Close call. Forcing healing here. Continue to maintain control of the centers to some degree. More grizzled bastards.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
Rushing more southwards, again, bonding with the Crusader. Just in case he keeps pushing forwards. But again, very sort of shows a slow, cautious play here by Herodad. I think with the sort of situation as it is, I feel like he could stand to be a bit more aggressive. But again, there's just, you know, also I think a lack of elite infantry like the Gurkhas or, you know, even the foot guards. There you go, pushing forward to the Stuk. Assault gunners again riding along there. Always handy dandy stuff. Fixing up the Stuk there. And should push for a plentiful near future. Tiger Tank is quite a bit far ways off that 9 command points. It can be impactful, but they are rather tricky to get. So it's always, you know, a bit of a tricky decision to make. Sappers pushing southwards into the Stuk. Starstorm and the Grenadiers. The assaults are not pretty for the Sappers, who immediately quickly drop very dead. That one man narrowly avoids total annihilation up north here on the center. British forces are slowly pushing forwards, realizing I'm kind of giving up on the center for now. Partly because there's 2 victory points in the south and 2 fuel points, so it kind of makes more sense to, like, you know, park in there actually. Plus, I got plenty of munitions, so the north is less important for me now compared to it previously, as Breakthrough is a very munitions-hungry battle group, truth be told. There it goes, Starstorm at it. Ready. That said, opponent here leaves a bit of a gap open here in the south. I could theoretically, for example, charge him the Stuk from the rear and catch his Crusader there. Stuk taking hits here. Soldiers could try and rush here at 40. Sprint in. Stuk moving for the Crusader. Starstorm could also push in. There you go. Good shot from the Sturmgeschütz, then the Crusader 3. And now we got Blitzkrieg, which increased the rate of fire and mobility here. Sturm there firing away there. Also gets the boost as his vehicle. Sturm there firing faster, which definitely helps. And it's always lackluster performance. Stuk charging and going for the 6-pounder gun. Starstorm going out as well here. Popping the shock assault as they gain veterans 1, which increases their firepower and makes them hard to kill here. Almost wipes out the section there. Section Dick annihilated here. Sturm actually close to veteran 2 now somehow. More tanks out here though for Herodad. Bring in more of those glorious British tanks to take on the Hun. But now I got my Panzer IV. Model H. I assume. Starstorm guns moving up here, quickly setting up behind the wreckage of the Humber. But nasty hit from the Crusader almost wipes out the entire unit. As Crusaders in large numbers can be quite nasty. So it didn't help with just pop Blitzkrieg, which was like, oh, my best way to, like, you know, manage the numbers. But crucially, I still got good map control here. And again, Herodad just tends to be a bit overly cautious here, not like looking to exploit any openings or mistakes for me. So that works out for me, obviously. You can see these lining up for a push here very slowly. Very slowly. Back here, troop enforcing healing. Quite expensive, 39 to enforce compared to Grenadiers 22s again. Financially, there's also a bit of reason there to consider, like, the merge here and there. Quick flare there. Spotting hit, smart play by my opponent. Actually also setting up for some through here could actually be a really smart move by him, but I don't think he does that. Missed opportunity outside there by Herodad. Missed opportunity. Again, these buildings here are quite good to control. But there you go, chance for the Crusaders here. Missed the Panther on the flank here. And there you go, Blitzkrieg again. Charging forward to the Panther force, the Stuks. Sturm flying away there again, Starstorming in. Charging in with the Panther 4 here. Going for the flank. Stokes charging in here. Unit wiped out there. Crusader down. Stokes running through the support weapons. Panther 4 the kaput here. Stokes dashing in there. Blitzkrieg just leading the Stokes to greater glory. Veteran 2 on both Stokes. Starstorm Vicinity is just going at it. Sturm there holding back. Forgot about that one. Almost got the Crusader here. Got the Stoke. But the Crusader's down. The 6-pounder gun is down. An absolute brutal engagement here. Sturm though could have support here, clear out the anti-tank gun for example, so that was obviously a big miss there by me. even if, again, it's not great, you know, with Blitzkrieg and, you know, a lot of stuff going on there, it could have, like, helped out. They also forgot about the Grenadiers here. But in the end, that does leave Herodad here a bit depleted. I quickly move to the Grenadiers, and note here again, I quickly merge up. That's giving me a fully crewed 6-pounder gun here. Immediately, so. Again, bit of utility there, bit of utility from those Grenadiers. Also, veteran fleet Grenadiers. So there you go, got the GG.
What do you need?
Got the GG. So there you go, game over. Decent fight here, but Herodad, I feel like, just played too conservatively. He didn't focus enough on the victory points. He also, I think, left the south open a lot of the time. Typically can actually make some great pushes there, so I feel like that didn't help. The lack of Gurkhas, I think, were not particularly great. Was also, I think, perhaps an oversight there, but again, they are quite good with the light machine guns or the Thompsons. Either way, though, they really pack a punch, and certainly I feel like some foot guards might also be, you know, a prudent choice here. So those are some things that I'd like consider, but also at other times, just like, you know, feel like he could have like easily made gains, but he just kind of held back against me, which obviously benefited me at times, you know, make sure I can, like, you know, more easily go for what I wanted. Personally, I could have had those MP40 upgrades up sooner, for example. Maybe should have waited for the infantry officer quarters. You know, there's also a lot of stuff I could have done better there, obviously. But I was, I think, helped here by Herodad at times, just, you know, not seizing opportunity with both hands when it was presented to him. So I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, you can subscribe, like, share, comment, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. And if you like what I do, you can donate by PayPal support or pledge on Patreon. All that helps me out a bunch. Or if you're in the market for companies, if you haven't looked at this, you can buy the game by the link in the comments using the CoH3 there. So this is Imperial saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.